I am in a strange filming location today because I am back in the country visiting my family for a few days. I'm actually leaving today to go back to Melbourne, and I thought that before I go back to Melbourne and homelessness, this might be a good chance to film a video. Hi, welcome to another Tea Talks. Blut, 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 blut. I'm just gonna drink some tea and try again. So remember last week when I made a Tea Talks video and I was like, hey, the personal update section of this vlog are gonna be pretty boring at the moment because all I ever do is apply for jobs and sleep. Well, Murphy's Law worked pretty quickly on that one, and I've had a very eventful week in the end, and my life took a very sharp turn for the better and then the worse within the space of about like 2 days. So as I think I told you guys last week, I was moving out of that place that I filmed in, and I have now moved out. I moved out on Friday, and on Thursday, while I was still packing to move out, I got a job offer as a nanny for a family who has just moved here to Australia, and they wanted a nanny for their little 7-year-old girl to get her ready and go to school, but the proviso for the job was that I moved in with them. So my original plan was to like move into storage, my stuff into storage, and come here and stay with my family, and then I got this job offer that was kind of like, now I need to stay in Melbourne, and also they'd only just moved to Melbourne, so they don't have a house yet, and they're still searching for a house, and in the meantime I need to find somewhere to stay in Melbourne while I work for them while they find a house. So I had to change all of my moving plans and like put half of my stuff in storage and half of it somewhere else so that I could get it if I needed to, and that was all a big fun mess, and I still have to find somewhere to stay in Melbourne, which is why I'm here now, because a couple of days after that I was staying with my, you've probably heard me mention an ex-boyfriend that I'm still kind of seeing. So I moved all of my stuff into storage and stayed with him for a couple of nights after I moved out. But then basically, as a brief summary, we are now definitely no longer seeing each other, which meant that I no longer could stay at his house, which is why I am here and about to go back to Melbourne to start working for this nanny job, even though I don't really have anyone else to stay with in Melbourne. Why do I keep doing this to myself, guys? I keep making myself cry on camera. On top of that, I also, on Sunday, as I was driving home here to stay with my family after things came to a head with the ex-boyfriend, and I was like, we just can't, like I can't do this right now, and cracked it and came home. I got a message from a friend saying that they have a room available for me, like to go on the lease and to live with them in Brunswick in like a week and a half. And we talked at the start of the year and I was like, I would really love to be able to live with you, that would be amazing. And he's remembered that and got in touch with me and said this room is now available if you want it. And I really want to live in that apartment, but I don't know that I can do that with the job that I've just been offered that wants me to live with them. And I know it sounds crazy to be passing up a job, one of the few jobs that I have been offered recently, but given the relationship stuff and just my dismal mental health, I feel like it would be a very dangerous idea to be isolating myself in someone else's house without like my own space and without my own support network around me, because the hours will be very long. I'll be working 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, which makes it very hard for me to see friends. And because I will be living in a room in someone else's house, it means that I can't have friends over. It's just a few bits and pieces that make me very anxious for my mental health. I'm going back to Melbourne to start working for them tomorrow, and I'm going to talk to them and ask if there's any way that I can do it not as a live-in nanny, so that I can take up this apartment with this friend and therefore have friends around me. Anyway, so that's my life. I don't think I did a very good job of explaining what's happening, and hopefully the next Tea Talks that I make, I will be able to talk about it better and explain what's happening better and maybe not cry about things. Let's talk about some happier things because I'm sick of crying on camera all the time. Let's talk about some videos that I've watched recently that I've liked, because YouTube is fun. The first video that I wanted to share with you guys that I absolutely adored this week was an introduction to booktube video by an Australian booktuber. Two of these are by Australian booktubers, which makes me really excited. By a YouTuber named Polly Reader, and she did a booktube newbie video, but she didn't do the booktube newbie tag. She decided that for her first video on YouTube, she wanted to talk about some of her Australian women writers. And I just thought that was really nice because I gotta be honest, I'm kind of over the booktube newbie tag. I know it's a great way to introduce yourself to booktube because it's an easy thing to search, but the questions are actually quite dull. I feel like it's really hard for people to actually show the unique side of their channel, or what is going to be unique about their channel when they're just answering these booktube newbie questions. They don't really give much freedom for people to actually say, this is what my channel is going to be about, and to actually showcase that to you. So loved that. Love the fact that she actually used this as an opportunity to actually showcase her channel instead of just answering the stock standard booktube newbie questions. Another one was actually a booktube newbie tag. The shortest and most hilarious and best booktube newbie tag video that I have ever seen. So this is by a YouTuber called Adams Alice, who is also an Australian. Told you, best week for Australians. And she did the booktube newbie tag, but she did it as a crime interrogation, and it's so good. It's so unique, and it just shows that she's obviously got a great personality and a great sense of humor, and she's just witty and funny and unique, and I can't wait to watch more of her videos. So yeah, nice work. And then the last video that I want to talk about, because I'm only allowed to talk about 3 videos, it's by the gorgeous Zariah Rose, who is just a princess in real life. She is so gorgeous, and she did this really cool, I think it's supposed to be a tag, I'm not sure, Zariah, help me out on that. But she did this cool video where she photoshopped all of her favorite booktubers and booktube friends as fantasy characters. The thing that I particularly loved about Zariah Rose's one is the thought and effort that she put into choosing characters that she thought suited each person's personality and each person's loves. If someone has a book character that they're always talking about as being their favorite book character, then she actually tried to photoshop them into that particular book character. Or if they just happen to read a particular style of book or have particular personality vibes, she's really put all this effort into making people their true character. I thought that was really sweet. And now let's briefly talk about what I've been reading, and then I will sign off because this video is getting really long. This probably won't be a surprise given the first section of this video where I talk about my life updates. I haven't really been in the mood for reading a lot this week. It hasn't really been best reading mood, but the last couple of days while I've been home visiting the fam, I've done quite a lot of reading of The Scarlet Letter. I am enjoying it. The thing that I find odd about The Scarlet Letter is how obvious the stuff that he's trying to say is. I looked up the themes before I started reading it because I thought that I would need to know what they are in order to look for them in the book, but he's not subtle. He just sits there and he's like, this person is a symbol for sin, and this is a symbol for nature, and this is a symbol for revenge, and I'm like, well, thanks for signposting it for me. I guess I'll just sticky note that section. And it's kind of like when you get something and it feels like it's too good to be true and you're like, there's gotta be a catch here. Because I'm reading it and I'm just like, this just feels like everything that he's saying just feels so obvious, and I feel like maybe it's because I'm missing something. I don't know. It's really weird. It's it's making me second guess myself because I feel like it's too not subtle. We'll be talking more about this next weekend for the live stream for the Keep It Classic Book Club anyway, because this is the book of the month for the Keep It Classic Book Club, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys who have read along with me have to say about The Scarlet Letter, and I'm really excited to have a chat with Molly and Vanessa on the live stream and with you guys in the chat about it, and just to hear what other people thought. And that's it. This is my update. I'm really sorry about how long this video looks like it's gonna be. I will see you in some other video very shortly, I'm sure, and until then, as always, stay classic.
Sit there and count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue.